Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Juan the Yarn Addict here with session number 42 of Whipping It with Juan. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm super happy that you found me. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you returned. Whipping It with Juan is a session where we sit back, we crochet together while I talk about all the things, and we just enjoy each other's company for about 45 minutes to an hour. So if that interests you, please sit back, enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as leave a comment or two. I would definitely appreciate the support. So the question of the hour, my friends, what is on the hook? I have tons of things on the hook. So let me show you. First, I have Bernat blanket, corner to corner. And I bought a whole bunch of these Ogos at Big Lots for $1.60 per Ogo. I bought a whole bunch of these, so I'm working them up into a corner to corner using an 8mm crochet hook. Super excited about this. I'm not sure how far this will go. Maybe a Boggy Creek blanket, maybe a blanket for the house. I'm not sure. So there's that. I also have my mom's granny square blankets that are just shy of 40 inches. And so she asked me to add additional rounds to her blankets so that they hit the 40-inch mark. So I have a few of those here that I'm going to be putting on the hook for this session. This is almost 40 inches. It needs just a few more rounds. So I have colors from Stash that I'm going to put on here. Hopefully we can find something that works with the colors that she chose. Fingers crossed. I have this other one here from Mom, the pastels. Now I've shown this and then I measured it after the live. And so we're still a few inches shy of 40 inches. So I might put a light blue one there or some blank. I think I have some blank from Stash. I'll put that on there. I also have my car blanket. Now, I thought about saying this is done, right? But I don't want to end this blanket with this light mint green. Is it mint green? No, it's like a neon green. I'm going to need to put another color on this, and then I can call it finished. So if time permits, we'll get onto that one. I have another scrap GAN here that I need to put a final round on. I ended with the neon orange, just one more to go on that. That's a lot, right, friends? I still have more. I still have more. So I have Party Time blanket, moss stitch in the round. It's been a little while since I worked on this one. This here is Red Heart Super Saver color block. So I have just a few more skeins left to put on this and then it's finished. So there's that. And then last but not least for this session, I have my textured cabin throw. I'm putting week number 8 on this blanket. I may start here, I'm not sure. But week 1 starts with the blue down at the bottom. And then it just goes on and on and on. And so the next color that has to go on is the purple. So very excited about that. So I used a 7mm crochet hook for this, and I believe we're nearing the end of this. So I'm very excited about this one. Okay, so those are the whips. That's everything I have on my hook for this session. I think what I'm going to do is jump onto the textured cabin throw for right now, and then we will jump onto the other whips as our session continues. I think I have more than enough for this session. I think. The goal here is to touch all of the projects. I want to be able to move the needle on these so that it's just that much closer to being finished. So let's see here. Do I have a 7mm hook? Yes, I do. It's right here. And I did finish my 2 rows of white. So from here, I'm going to put purple on like so, like that. I just have to reach in here and grab it. Okay, perfect. All right. So let's just go ahead and tie this on, and then I'll get into my crochet position. I create the table with my knee, and then we can go to town. So let me just get myself situated here very quickly. Okay, let's bring the new color on. So friends, what is on your hook? What are you guys working on? Do you guys have a lot of whips like me? I mean, I know I'm not alone. I know there are tons of people out there with whip baskets, whip bags, knit whips, you name it, whips this, whips that. I know you guys have just as many. Maybe not just as many. Maybe that's a little far fetched. I mean, I do have more than more than a handful, but I'm sure many of you guys have whips. And if I'm being honest, I think having whips is a good thing. You know, you allow your creativity to flow. You put it to the side, you start with something else, you allow your creativity to just continue on with that project, and then, palette cleanse this, and then try that, and then palette cleanse from that. And then before you know it, you have all the whips. It's fine. I think it's perfectly healthy to have all the whips, right? So, if you don't have all the whips, I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy that you don't have tons of whips. But for sure, that's not me. I just, I have to have my hands in all the things. Even if it's just for a short period of time before I put it down and I hop onto something else, it's perfectly okay. I start to worry when I don't have many things on the hook because that just means my creativity is not flowing as regularly as it normally would. I'm constantly in design mode. I'm constantly in creativity mode. And so, yeah, I have to at least try it. So, like, I'll write down a pattern and then it won't be too long before I have to pick up a ball of yarn and a hook and try it to see what it looks like, you know? So once I do that, then I'm like, okay, the stitch works, or nah, let's try again. So case in point, I think it was right before the summer hit. I created what I thought was the symphony stitch, where we had 4 different stitches in a row and it created this like teardrop. And I crocheted it and it looks, to this day, I mean, I really enjoy it. But then I thought to myself, is it really a symphony stitch? Is it just a bunch of stitches that you put together and it just looks like a teardrop? Like, should it be called the symphony stitch? Anyway, it happens all the time. I did a lighthouse stitch where I put a whole bunch of stitches together and it created like this lighthouse look. And, there you go. Case in point, creativity. It happens. It's perfectly normal. You work up little swatches. Those swatches turn into whips. Those whips go into baskets and bags. And before you know it, you have 30 of them. You have tons of them all over the place. It's perfectly okay. So anyway, textured cabin throw, my friends. Trisha designed it. I did the tutorial. It is on my channel. Mama Swift is the name of her channel. She has numbers in a cup and she pulls those numbers out every Thursday, and you assign colors to the numbers. And depending on the project that you're working on, you pull the color, you work the project in sequential order, and this is the product of that. This is Luck of the Draw number 9 that I'm working on right now. So I'm double dipping. This is her pattern with Luck of the Draw number 9. So it's been a lot of fun. I like being able to pick this up, work a section, put it down, and then move on to something else. It's so much fun. And you're not ball and chained to it for like ever, You're on it just long enough to put the color on, and then you put it down, and then you can move on to another whip. And you can actually feel some sense of accomplishment because you put the color on. So for me, this is amazing because with all the things I have on my hook, now what I've shown you guys earlier in this video is just a little tip of the iceberg of the whips that I have. There's whips that have been under this table for months that I have yet to unearth. I think I need to do a whole entire video of that. Just unearthing all the whips. Maybe just putting them all to the side, one by one, showcasing the whips, right? Whipapalooza. All the whips. Anyway, so I do have some of the whips in the other room. that I've decided that, I'm going to proceed forward with those. I also had some WIPs that I decided, you know what, they're not going to ever come to fruition. It's just time to frog them out. Time was an issue, yarn was an issue. So lots of factors went into play before deciding, you know what, some of those WIPs were never just going to be a thing. So case in point, Hirschner's had air spun wool that I started a sweater in, and then they discontinued that colorway, and I needed more yarn and I wasn't able to find it. So instead of putting a call out to the masses, hey, does anybody have this colorway in air spun wool, I just decided, maybe I can frog the yarn and work it up into something else. So I've already begun frogging it, and now the question becomes, when I'm able to, what should I work it up in? So it's very soft and fluffy, and it's like a cloud. It was black and red. I had a front panel done, a back panel done, and the sleeve. And I just decided, you know what? It's just not worth the effort. I'm just going to go ahead and frog it, and we'll cross that bridge once we get there. So yeah, I had quite a few projects like that. I had high hopes for it, and it just never turned out to be a thing. And it's okay, you know. So I have beautiful projects over here. I'm very excited about the moss stitch in the round in party time, but I also have my birthday blanket done in the same stitch, and that yarn took an entire community to gather. I had friends, I had family, I had strangers sending me these skeins of yarn to be able to create this beautiful blanket. And I threw loops and thread soft classic in charcoal with that to just break up the monotony of the colorway, and it turned out beautiful. It is slightly larger than throw size right now, but what I'm trying to create is a king size blanket done in the moss stitch in the round. And I had 23 skeins of this yarn to work this up in, and let's just say I made some headway. I'm very proud of it. I keep it here in the studio, so while I'm waiting for videos to download, I pull it out and I work on it. Even if it's a round is a round. It's that much closer towards being finished, and so that's how I have to think when I look at projects that huge. So I don't know what I was thinking when I first started it. I said, oh yeah, I'll be done by the end of July. I'll start at July 1st. I'll be done by July. A king size blanket. Are you kidding me? When I didn't have a channel, it took me 3 months to do a corner to corner in Bernat Super Value. Yeah, 3 months. And I worked on that every single day. I didn't have any other projects to work on. So I don't know what I was thinking, friends, but my reality is it's not getting done in 30 days. I don't know what I was thinking, but that's okay. I work on it every chance I get. I move the needle, and I'm very happy about that. So there is that. I'm already at the end of the row. I'd be a little further if I wasn't yapping away, not paying attention. But that's the point of this, right? Whipping it with Juan. The point of it is for me to just yap away and shoot the breeze and talk to you guys about all the things while I do all the hooking. It's so much fun. I love this. So anyway, I think I've asked what's on your hook. What else could I ask you guys? I know. What is your favorite value yarn? So last year around this time, give or take a month or so, I did a video showcasing my favorite yarns, my top 5 favorite yarns. And can you believe that my top 5 favorite yarns have changed? So yeah, I came across that video. I watched it. It was a little cringe because I look a little different. I look a little different than compared to now. But anyway, I watched it and I said to myself, you know what, Juan? You don't even care for that yarn anymore, to some of them. So why don't you do another video showcasing your top 5 favorite value yarns for this year, since it's been a year? So stay tuned. I've already pulled the yarn. I have it piled right there on the recliner. I plan on doing, we'll see. And the other thing too is, before I go any further with that, I came across so many new yarns this year. So when I first did that video, I really wasn't well versed in all of the yarns that was even out there. So, you know, I need to now do separate kinds of yarns. So I have a section for value yarns. I have sections for online yarn. So like Lion Brand, Premier, and that sort of thing. And then you have the bougie yarns. So I've been very, very fortunate to have my hands on some really, really nice fancy yarns. So I figured, why not do a 3-part section in one video where I talk about my top 5 favorite value yarns, my top 3 favorite online order yarns, so like Mary Maxim, Hirschner's, Lion Brand, Premier, top 3 or top 5, and then my top 3 or top 5 favorite bougie yarns. So I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it, only because, you know, I've experienced a lot this year, and I'm sure someone out there is interested in knowing what I think about the yarns that I work with every day, so why not? I will tell you that, well, I'm going to give you a little spoiler, okay? Premier Puzzle is still there, okay? Premier Puzzle is not going anywhere. I cannot not have Premier Puzzle somewhere up there, because I absolutely love Premier Puzzle. I can make all the things with it. I'll tell you, the biggest win for me would be able to acquire all 35 colorways again, even the blink ones. I am not a fan of Cat's Cradle, but nonetheless, it's part of a collection, and if I have just one skein of it, I can say my collection is complete. To just have it and to be able to design and create something with those yarns. And now that they have solids, it is a game changer. See, last year they didn't have solids. Now we have solid puzzle, and you can make 100 times more than what you could have had you not had the plain puzzle. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited. I actually have some plain behind me under the anniversary cakes over there. Super excited. And then I have another Premier order that just came in. Of course, I ordered solids. It's my new thing. I need all the solids, you know. I have to have the solids. Because now, like, I want to try and see what other colorways work with these yarns. Now, on Premier's website, they give you suggestions for solids to go with the different colorways of Premier Puzzle. Well, I want to try and push the envelope and see what other colorways that they haven't suggested would still look good with those yarns, and just pair them up next to each other to just see what that looks like physically, as opposed to just seeing it online on a web page. I want to be able to play with all of that and just see, you know, because you have primary colors, you have secondary colors, you have tertiary colors. And when you have all of those different colorways next to each other, it makes you take a step back and actually think, like, wait a second, I didn't think that those two colorways look right with that one variegated colorway. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, that does work. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Stay tuned. I'm not getting much work done. I'm just, I have so much to say. I feel like, you know, you guys are my besties, and I haven't seen you guys in such a long time, and I have a lot of catching up to do. That's what it feels like. So I can't stay focused on my projects, but you know what? I'll start moving the hook. I will continue to keep it moving. So I just recently did a video, Coffee and Cake with Juan, and I have to tell you that I really, really enjoyed that whole coffee and cake session, because A friend of mine reached out to me and said, "Hey Juan, pull yarns from your stash and create cakes. Send me a cake so I can make something." And I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know why they would be interested in my colors, but nonetheless, I made it and here they are. Except for this one right here. This one here is not made the same way as the other ones. Um, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm squirreling. Just bear with me, give me grace. So this cake right here is a lot bigger than those, but look how pretty that cake is. Are you kidding me right now? So this is called Pink Diva. Pink Diva on the outside, and then we have Green Gecko on the inside, and then all of the rest of the yarns in the cake are all from my leftovers bin. So yeah, these are fresh from stash, fresh yarns. Very excited about that. I don't ever do that. I don't prefer to do that, but since I was asked, I felt, okay, well, why not? And I got a lot accomplished. I guess because I didn't have to chase the balls around the floor or the cakes across the table. It was all right there for me to just access. So that was a lot of fun. But I won't be doing that too often, if ever, because again, I have lots of little leftovers. Here's a bag of what I'm talking about. So as I work projects up, I put them in little bags like this, and then I use these to make these. And then I work these up and nothing goes to waste. And if I have little knots, I call that amigurumi stuffing. I just put that in a little zippy, and then when the bag is full, I'll dump it on the table, and then I'll take a pair of scissors and I'll go chop, 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 and then I will mail it to a friend who does amigurumis. So yeah, if you make amigurumis and you want some stuffing, just shoot me an email and I'll put you on the list. And you know, first come, first serve, and I can't really guarantee giving it to everybody, but I don't really create that much. But yeah, I have a little bit. I have a little bit back here, but not much. So if I have some available, I will let you know. But yeah, I know a lot of people prefer polyfill. So yeah, if you're okay with having chopped up yarn, and if I have it available, I will give it to you. I don't like wasting it. So there's that. I tried doing amigurumis, and you know what? Maybe I should hold on to it just in case. I don't know. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll hold on to it and stuff my own amigurumis with it. We'll see. I'm all over the place if you haven't noticed. I think I had too much coffee because I made a pot of coffee. I did a video earlier in the day, right? And I had some of that coffee, and then I had this, I forget what you call that. Is it a Stanley? I don't know. It's the metal thing. It holds all the heat in the thing. So it was still hot. So yeah, I had more of that. So I had the equivalent of a pot? Like a pot of coffee. Yes, I'm like a ping pong ball, a squirrel ping pong ball. So I'm squirreling and I'm ping ponging all over the place. Anyway. Okay, so I'm not getting much done in the way of crochet at the moment. I'm like nearing the end of row 2. How far are we along in this video? 23 minutes and only 1.5 rows. Okay, Juan, you really need to get hooking here. Anyway, I think once I'm done this row, what I'll probably do is hop on over to Mama's blankets. I need to put some colors on her blankets so that we can call them done. She thinks they're done. I measured them. We're a few inches shy from finished. But I said, you know what, Ma, just continue creating. Go ahead and put another color on your hook. Go do all the things. I'll take care of it from here. And she's like, oh, Juan, thank you so much. And I'm like, you're welcome, Mother. Yes, because her perception of what 40 inches looks like is different. I mean, and it's okay. I don't mind. It's only a few rounds of the white or whatever, you know, whatever I have in the bins here. So it's no trouble at all. And it gives Mama a sense of accomplishment. Like she did it, she finished it, and now she gets to work on another one. Now, she's been working these scrap gan blankets with like these variegated colorways and things. And let me tell you, some of those blankets that she's done are absolutely beautiful. It's got shimmer, it's got variegated, it's got solid, it's got fleck, it's got everything in it. And she loves that. And so, to my surprise, the one that she just finished tonight is probably the biggest one that she's made all year. Like, it fits like a full-size bed, which is, by all accounts, is huge for my mother. Because just what, last week or the week before, she hands me this blanket right here, and she's like, it's done, and it's not even 40 inches. I think she just got bored of it because it's just very ho-hum. I mean, the colors are nice, but it doesn't really pique my mom's interest, you know? As a matter of fact, I caught her, I think, like nodding off as she was crocheting that. uh, and then I'd have to be like, Ma, do you need some coffee? You need to pick me up? Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to finish this row, and then I'm going to dig into this bin and see if I can find some white to put onto that blanket. Now, she doesn't use the same size hook as I do. I believe she used a 5mm crochet hook, 5.5. She doesn't really use the big hooks like I do. But you know what? We're going to try and see what happens. Now, I do have my Leto hook over here. It is a 6. I don't really keep anything smaller than a 6 in the studio. Or do I? I think I have a Nelson wood over there that's 5.5. But we'll see. I'll finish this row and see what the things are. Let's see here. Just a couple more stitches to go, and then I'll be finished this one. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. This purple is so nice. Now, this is not the aubergine. So I didn't know this, but in my bag, my Just Yarn, like I have a Dollar Tree bag of these little skeins, and I didn't realize it, but in that same bag, I had 2 colorways of purple. I had the grape, which is this, and then I had aubergine, which is like a darker purple, and I was working up a Halloween blanket with that new Big Twist yarn, and I said, wait a minute, that's aubergine. Oh yeah, I have to work that up and see what that looks like. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was more than pleasantly surprised. I was excited to be working with it. So yeah, great job, Premiere. That aubergine is just all the things. I love it. Okay. So if you're new to my channel, friends, my favorite color is aubergine. Like, it's the darkest of all the purples. See that right there? That whole cubby right there, that's the color. Right there. And then right in the middle is Pink Diva. Because it looks like a floating skein. It's so dark, you don't really see that there are other skeins there until you stare at it. And then it's like, bam, the skeins are there. They're all the skeins. Okay, so this one is going to be placed on pause. We did 2 rows. We did the things. And so now I'm going to hop onto Mama's blanket. Now, based on the size of her granny stitch, this looks like, what does it look like? It looks like a 5.5. Do I have a 5.5? I have a 6 over there. I think I have a 5.5 Nelson wood. Is this a 5.5? Yes, this is a 5.5 Nelson wood. I don't have any other 5.5s in here, do I? Sorry, guys. Field trip. I'm looking around the desk. I'm looking around the desk to see if I have a 5.5. Let's see. What is this? Oh, that's a 5.5. Okay, I don't have to pull out the Nelson wood. All right. So I have a 5.5 Furls Odyssey. So we're going to do that. And then let's look for the yarn. No, she used like white. She didn't use Aran. So Aran is off the table because we don't want it to look like It was a mistake. Okay, here we go. This is favorite yarn from Ice. It's very soft and squishy. Love that. It is on the thinner side of a 4, but I mean, it's still good. I mean, there's really nothing else I could say about it. It's good yarn. Think about Burnett Super Value. It's a thinner of the 4, but it's still good yarn, and people still use it. That's what this is like to me. I did a whole king-size blanket in Burnett Super Value. It's very nice. All right, so slip knot on the hook. Let's pick a corner and go to town. I gotta make my table. I cross my legs here and I make a table right here. So when I look at a stitch, I can just lean over like this and look at the stitch up close. Okay, let's find the chain space. All right. I'm actually kind of honored that my mom is allowing me to work on top of her work. I actually really like that. For the longest time, I was always worried that like mom didn't want me to touch her work. Like her work was exclusively hers. She didn't want anyone else to touch it. But you know, with her vision going, I'm thankful that she trusts me to be able to do this for her. So, but see, she also chains one in between, and I don't do that. Yeah, she chains one in between her granny stitches. I guess I have to follow suit, although I'm not really comfortable doing that. It's Mama's blanket, not mine. So chain one it is. We're going to chain one in between the grannies. Because if I changed it now and I didn't put the chain one in between, it would look funky. It would literally look like someone else did the blanket, right? So I have to go into uncharted territory. And you know what? I have to tell my mother there are some grannies here that's missing a stitch. She's got 2 doubles instead of 3. She's got twins in a stitch instead of 3. 3 peas in a pod. No, I'm not going to tell her. She'll take a skin and wonk me. She'll be like, no, Juan, that's not a mistake. Okay, mother. Oop. Forgot the chain one. Yeah, we have to chain one in between the grannies here. That's how she does it. Yeah. It's her blanket. I'm just going to do the things as she does it. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I know I get a lot of positive feedback from these WIP'n It with Juan sessions. I really hope that, you know, my company is good for you as it is for me. I know I physically don't see you, but I imagine you sitting there and we're talking to each other, you know. So it's a little bit of imagination at work here. So it's fine. These Furls Odysseys, I have to tell you, like, I wish that these were no longer discontinued and that they continued making these. They're just so good. Not to say that what they have now isn't good. They're good. Don't get me wrong. But the Furls Odysseys, I mean, they're really good. They're really good. I like how they handle. I like how my hand holds onto the hook and it just flows, you know? You know, it's not for everyone because the hook is heavy. It's metal. It's a metal hook. And for me, I do like that weight there. But despite that, I also like my Furls hooks. And they're not heavy at all. They're very light. And I enjoy that because of how long the hook is. So I guess it's just different depending on, you know, the hook. Now, I did place an order for the tulip hooks because I've never tried them. And I'm very curious to know how they work up. I know they're small, but when I learned something. When I do my tutorials, if I have a hook that's long, like how I like it, it clanks on the table as I crochet. And it's very off-putting to people who watch. So I now know that I have to use the smaller hooks so it doesn't make that noise when it hits the table. So, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind using those hooks if it's for tutorials. So I have clovers. Now I need to see what else is out there. But in the meantime, I'm using clovers, and they're doing very well for me. But if I'm able to get better stitch definition with another hook, I have to at least try and see. So yeah, and I get really good stitch definition with the clovers. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with the clover hooks at all. I just need variety. I want to be able to compare and contrast, because if I don't do that, I'm always going to wonder. I'm going to wonder if those hooks that are sitting in the store are better than the ones that I have in my hands here. So, yeah, I have to at least give that a try. So, anyway, wow, I'm not used to that chain one. There's just so much space in between the stitches. And another thing I noticed, my stitches with the eye hook are smaller than Mama's. So I don't think she used an eye hook. I think she used a J. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Let me check the other side. Yeah. Or it could be her tension, because my tension's tighter than hers. I got this far. I'm going to keep going. we're continuing on. We're forging the path. We're just moving forward. So there's that. Now I know for sure that my party time blanket was a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, because I used my Furls Odyssey with the white handle, which that hook is actually sitting in the squirrel's nest right now. So more than likely, I'm probably not going to work that blanket for this session, and that's okay. There's going to be many more sessions. And by the way, friends, I do have a playlist of the WIP'n It with Wands. So if you ever need company, just go to the playlist, pick one, play it, and just there you go. You have company. And as long as you guys watch, I will continue to create them, because I love being able to sit here and just shoot the breeze and work on my projects and give you guys company when you need it. Because let's be honest, friends, this is a very lonely craft. We spend a lot of time alone. Unless you can somehow miraculously find people to crochet with every day, it's very lonely. And so, I know that firsthand. I spent many years alone before technology, just crocheting in a room by myself. And I thought, if I ever got the platform to be able to do something like this, I would love to be able to create videos for people to just have company to watch, and just even if it's to put me on for background noise, I think it's perfect. And so, yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to do this. And if this is something that you like, continue watching and I'll continue creating them. That being said, if there is a topic that you would like me to talk about, please sound off in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to just crochet and talk about the topics that are in the comments, and use that as a starting point, like a springboard. We'll start there, and then only time only time we'll be able to tell where that goes from there. So now, with that being said, there was another content creator who left a comment in one of my videos, and it was a very, very awesome question. So much so that it took me a few days to actually come up with an answer. So, on the hook with Jeannie, she watches my videos, and she put into the comments, what is my dream crochet project? I mean, it's a very simple question, but that very simple question can be spun 100 different ways, and I spent many days thinking about what my dream crochet project would be, you know, as a content creator, as a designer, with someone that, I mean, I have my own business. So what I do on the side is I design and I create. Anyway, my dream project would be a combination of all of the projects that I've created into one piece of art. So, like a free form crochet project that encompassed all of my projects to date. So, my shawls, my blankets, my hats, just bits and bobbles, pieces of this, pieces of that, all into a free form project with all the yarns. It's literally all the things, right? All the colors, all the textures, all the designs. It's a choice. It's a lot to look at, but it makes you stop and think about the journey. It, the whole history behind all the designs and everything that I put into it. So that would be my dream project. Now, how I would create that is beyond me. I have no idea how to create something like that, but that would literally be my dream project if I could create something like that, you know. But the challenge also is I'm constantly creating. So by the time I forge a path to create something like that, I probably would have already created 5 or 6 other projects that I would want included in that project. So it goes to say that it's a never ending process. And when would enough be actually enough for something like that? So I want to send a huge thank you to Jeannie from On the Hook with Jeannie for asking me that question, because it's very thought provoking, that question, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you. And if you guys have not checked out On the Hook with Jeannie, please do so. She's an awesome content creator. She makes wearables and all the other things. So check her out. So there is that. Where are we at time wise? 42 minutes. My goodness, it feels like just 5 minutes. Totally kidding. Totally kidding, friends. I know, I know. But I have been gabbing at the gums so much that my conversation has actually impeded on my work, because I did literally 2 rows of my textured cabin throw and not even a full round of my mom's 4 blanket here. Oh, it's okay, right? It's fine. I moved the needle. The needle didn't move much, but I still moved it, right? 1 stitch at a time. Anyway, I'm going to do a few more stitches and then we'll call it. Now, see, I have to tell her. I mean, some of these clusters here have 4 double crochets. Some have 2. Poor mom. When I see that, I have to give her an A for effort. She's losing her vision. She probably couldn't see that there was 3 already in there, so she put another one in there. And then this one has 5. Oh, mother. I'm not even going to tell her, because why? It would defeat the purpose. She did it. It's done. We're moving on. I'll let her just continue creating the things. you know? She's happy. She knows why she's making it, and she's happy doing it. So that's all that matters, I guess. At least to me, anyway. So, anyway, friends, what is the plans for the next Whipping It with Juan? So, hopefully, I would have moved the needle just a little bit on these scrap GAN blankets. Textured cabin throw will be finished, fingers crossed. My Bernat blanket corner to corner that we didn't get a chance to touch this time around would have been touched. Again, it's just about moving the needle on all these WIPs. I'm constantly creating. I'm going to constantly have WIPs. That's just my reality. It's not everyone's reality, but it's mine, and I'm okay with it. I don't want to create projects and then toss them to the side. I do want to see them finished, but what finished looks like to me may take a little longer than the average person, because I don't know if the average crocheter has 40 WIPs at a time. Maybe there's more than 40. I don't know, but for me, You know, I have to just prioritize and figure out which ones I'm going to see to the finish line and which ones I'm not going to see to the finish line, and then just make decisions and move on from there. So anyway, we're going to call this. So my friends, if you enjoyed this, as I said in the beginning, please hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment or two, and then hit that subscribe button. That is all for this one, and until the next one, my friends, take care. Bye.